What a beautiful film. Such a great experience for us. And I want to start, Ryan, when did you first know that this might be a series?
Well, Daniel and I had, and again, thank you guys for being here so much, and everybody watching in the other theaters. Thank you guys for coming out. Daniel and I, when we were making the first one, actually, we were having just so much fun, and we just so enjoyed working with each other that even then we were saying if people watch this, and we didn't know if they would, if this does well enough, it would be really fun to keep making these. So even when we were making the first one, that it was kind of a dream.
You had that idea, and it looks like, I've heard actors talk about how tight and wonderful your scripts are. With this one, with the plotting, obviously it has to be incredibly tight. But how you have this great comic and dramatic ensemble as well too. How much space were you able, with a tightly plotted script like this, to give them to improvise and bring life to these scenes?
There was definitely a lot of playing on set. I mean, I would be the biggest idiot in the world if I had this gang and I didn't let them riff and let them play. So it's it is a jigsaw puzzle. So it's not like we can get out there and just wing it. And we are really shooting the script. At the same time, there's a lot of stuff in there that came out of us just having a blast on set and these guys just doing their thing.
I'm going to come back to that question because I want to ask your cast about that. But I also wanted to ask, so in the first Knives Out, it's a sleuth-like. We all talked about great reference, British crime film Sleuth. This one, and it was all contained within a room or several scenes. The scale of this is huge. How much did you want to play around with that scale, or did that scale just emerge because of the story you wanted to tell?
I mean, it's kind of bigger because of kind of who and what it's about, but also it was really important. I knew if we were going to keep making these, what seemed exciting is, because all of this started with my love of Agatha Christie, and to do what she did with each one of her books, which is something totally different. And she wasn't repeating herself every time. She was not only new settings and new characters, but also new narrative gambits, new tones, new genres within genres. And then there were none being like a proto-slasher movie, and ABC Murders is basically like a serial killer thriller. She was trying different stuff. And so I also wanted to kind of let the audience know that going forward, that's what we're going to try and do with this, is really give each one of these its own reason for being, its own identity. And setting it, in Greece as opposed to a New England drawing room was a big way of doing that.
And Angela Lansbury, who you worked with, can you just talk a little bit about why you reached out to her and what it was like working with her?
Yeah, Angela and Stephen Sondheim, who both have that little cameo in the beginning, were so incredibly gracious in letting us shoot their little cameos. I mean, and we weren't able to get it on for this print, but we're adding a dedication credit and dedicating the film to both of them. For me, just they're two heroes of mine, and just being able to spend 10 minutes with each of them and just let them know what their work meant to me was a really special thing.
Amazing. And Ram, you shot something of this scale during COVID. I have two questions to you. With the cast like this, how did you do it? And the second question is, how the hell did you do it? Because it's amazing.
I have no fucking clue, but we got really lucky. That's all I can say.
No, you have to elaborate on that.
No idea. All I can tell you,
Come
the
on.
hardest thing for me is to make sure that none of those guys get COVID, because then we will be really fucked.
But okay, but it's not just a practical thing, because it strikes me there's an incredible spirit amongst the team. How much of that do you think, as a producer, was because of the conditions that you had to shoot in?
No, I think it's really all about Ryan. Everybody loves Ryan. Everybody want to hang with Ryan, and it's all Ryan and Daniel. They set the tone. Everybody followed.
Ram is the most modest producer I've ever met, so amazing. Thank you.
We call Ram Mother.
So I'm going to throw to the cast and just ask a little bit about the same sort of follow-up. And I want to start with you, Daniel, to ask about, because I was impressed by how close the accent is. How hard was it to get your, to use a quote, Kentucky Fried Foghorn Leghorn accent back?
I was terrified. I just didn't.
I just went back to school again and just sort of started learning it. I was so desperate to get it right and not do a pastiche of the previous film and try and get it back into my body. So I just worked on that. That's all.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Can you talk, Daniel, a little bit about working with a new ensemble, but bringing the same character to that ensemble?
Knives Out lot, just fuck them.
Yeah.
It's like, these are the new people. Listen, I have one of the best jobs in the world. I work with, and I have the chance to work with Rian Johnson, and I would work with him for the rest of my life. He writes these scripts, and he sends them to me and say, what do you think? And I'm like, I'm in. And then he starts talking about the cast, and I go, yes, yes, yeah, yes, and that's it. That's a simple thing. It's just amazing. And to get to the chance, and you saw tonight how brilliant these people are, and how funny, and how they're genius, and what a joy.
Yeah, absolutely. And Edward, Miles, what an interesting character. Some people have pointed out his similarity to other tech giants. Did you riff on anything in contemporary culture here?
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about how you researched a character that has no precedent,
Well,
really.
You know, we've all seen the documentaries on Schmalon Husk and Schmelizabeth Scones and Schmadam Human. I look at myself as a blender. I put all those people in, and the smoothie of Miles came out. I think that the tech Illuminati are everybody's favorite target right now. We all want to see them taken down, and so it was a great deal of fun.
Amazing. Duke, also fun. Sorry, Dave. I'm going to call you Duke. But Dave, also really fun is Duke. I mean, Duke's a fantastic character. He's a hilarious modern celebrity. And I just wanted to ask, how much fun was it for you to lean into some of his awfulness in a way?
It was pure fun. I mean, I guess I thrive when I play the guy that everybody loves to hate. So yeah, no, it was great. It was just fun, and I guess I thought about every kind of internet, social media alpha douchebag that I hate, and I just encapsulated them all, and there you have Duke.
But did Ryan have to say, turn it up, turn it up, turn it up, or did you bring that number 10?
So not me. I'm so uncomfortable being big, but it is fun to play.
Yeah. Great. And Madeline, Whiskey is also slightly on the outskirts, and I just wanted to know whether she was a really fun character to play as well, too.
Whiskey is fun as fuck.
Yeah.
She was so much fun to play, and I was blessed to be able to play Whiskey opposite this entire cast, but also Dave.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's such a pleasure to see you turn expectations on their head as the character too. How much fun was that for you to do as well?
Super fun. I don't know. There were so many. I mean, we really got to play.
Yeah.
With these characters. They were incredibly multifaceted. So that's always something that's really enjoyable to lean into.
I think that's the thing that many audiences get, is that sense of play that you all had. And I just wanted to ask Kate about Birdie, who is also, she's sailing close. So you got 2 mics. Is that a Birdie move?
I don't know how this happened.
Birdie would probably have 2 mics. But she's sailing so close to the edge, and she says some crazy shit. But I think we all sort of love her as well, too, sort of. I'm just going to say that, lest I be cancelled. But how did you maintain that balance between sort of lovable and charming and also quite outrageous as well?
A brilliantly crafted script by Rian Johnson. That's how. Yeah, I mean, Birdie. I mean, my God, what a joy to play. She was so fun. But Rian gave me some absolutely delicious dialogue that was terrifying, and I had to go for it. Yeah. And so that's what we did, and I knew I was in the best possible hands.
Yeah.
So.
And
One of my favorite things, I just have to say, what Kate told me how she played Birdie, and she said, Birdie understands every third word.
That's right. That's right. It's like she's not Lizzo, every third word is what she hears.
she's busy.
That was my touchstone.
Amazing. And Catherine, Claire, I mean, modern politicians are in the spotlight, obviously, and they're not allowed to be real human beings. And I think you make that very funny, but it's also, there's something really real about at the heart of that performance. For you, how did you find the character of Claire, and why were you interested in her?
Well, yes. First of all, I know that I misheard my entrance cue, and so I found myself between these two goddesses, and I just appreciate you both, and I love you both. So I know I'm not exactly where I was supposed to be, as usual. I also just want to pivot and say my first film was with Kate Hudson, and it's so crazy to be back together in this film and just see her anyway, this is out of body and incredible, and I adore you. So anyway, just want to say that. And also, what the heck, and incredible. So, and also, no spoilers, all these beautiful women and men. This is every day, also with this crew. Modern politicians. Yes. Yeah, I guess it's just money, 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 right? So it's what do you do? What do you do? I don't know. That's the thing. That's what I
asked
would say.
you a really shit question. I'm really
Yeah.
sorry.
It's what do you do when you want the good, but you need the money? So I guess that's what's happening. And beige. And that is Claire.
Amazing. Amazing. Catherine, thank you for turning a crap question into a great answer. And I'd just also like to ask Leslie, Lionel is the brain really behind Miles. Why does he allow himself to be used in this way?
I thought that it was a nice exploration about if people in the audience saw themselves in any way, maybe it's just how sometimes our strings are pulled by people with more resources or more power than us. Certainly, money's one of the ways, but sometimes our strings are pulled, and you can find yourself being pulled out of line with your integrity, and all these people are just, they're really at that moment where they're questioning how far they're going to allow themselves to be pulled, and unfortunately, somebody's got to go because of that.
And Janelle, it's hard to know what I'm allowed to say here, but you obviously, everyone here has seen it. You have a character with sort of dual roles. How much of a pleasure was that for you to sort of play those two sides of the same character?
Oh man, this was a role of a lifetime. Being able to work with Rian Johnson, in my head I'd seen Looper, and I was like, if I ever get an opportunity to work with this director, it's yes. And then I read the script and I was like, fuck, yes. The cast, to be able to work with Daniel, like Edward, Kate, Catherine, everybody on the stage, I have a bond with now because of that role. And it's bigger, it's bigger than what I could have imagined, because it's all really about experiences we get to have with each other. And the moments that we've made outside of even creating this movie, to me, I'll always hold dear to my heart. We play murder mystery games on our off days. Like, we're in the middle of shooting a murder mystery, and we're like, yeah, let's get together and dress up and play murder mystery. And I think you say we were like a little theater troupe, and I will hold it dear to my heart. I got an opportunity to collaborate a lot and nuance this character out. Everything I'd done up until now really prepared me to do a role this huge, and I'm just forever indebted. I'm humbled, and I'm just grateful to have this Earth experience with you guys.
Amazing. And That leads me on also to ask you all, because it feels, I mean, for anyone who, I think the audience will get this too, it feels like you've built almost like an ensemble, like a theater ensemble. There's an atmosphere that we don't feel when we see, you know, some of the world's biggest A-list stars working together. Well, how did you create that sense of, you know, building something together? Why does this feel different? Is it Mr. Johnson?
No, we got so lucky everyone came together, and besides just being fantastic actors, we all liked each other. It was really weird, and so we just hung out, and we were...
He also decided to put us on a soundstage in Serbia. And so with that, we ended up in this green room, all of us together, right, every day for hours and hours, and we got super close. Like, it really did feel like a theater troupe. So we didn't have much to do. We were like this little cozy family.
Yeah, that's it, man.
And can I ask a question? It's either to Janelle or it's to you, Ryan. When is Andy going to get her spinoff?
Yeah, the Andy Mysteries.
I like you.
Can I just say in praise of Janelle Monáe, Lisa over here, she put so much into this part, and the amount of, without saying why, the degree of difficulty of this role, and the amount of work and thought she put into every scene, I didn't even appreciate until I put the whole movie together and watched it for the first time. She's just extraordinary.
I love you. Thank you, Ryan.
Well, I think on behalf of all of us, you are all extraordinary. It's been such a pleasure for us to see you as people, really lovely people, but what a gorgeous film you've made together. It's funny. It says something about the world we live in. Thank you very much.
So thank you so much for having us. Thank you guys again.
Thank you, guys. We love you. Thank you.